You may think your jade plant is working for you. It's lush, placed in the corner of your home that everyone says attracts money. It's alive, green, comforting. But if you haven't buried this one thing beneath it, a small golden crystal, invisible but vital, then that beautiful plant might be doing absolutely nothing. Worse, it might be quietly holding your wealth energy hostage. Yes, really, because energy doesn't respond to looks, it responds to intention. And right now, your home could be set up to attract money, but not hold it. Citrine is the crystal of clarity, flow, and financial warmth. But simply owning one isn't enough. Where it lives matters. When you tuck it beneath your jade plant, into the same soil that touches the roots, you're not just adding a Feng Shui touch. You're creating a magnet, a signal that tells the space around you. This is where wealth can land and grow. No incense, no mantras, just a hidden shift beneath your everyday decor. And the results, they don't arrive with fireworks. They arrive with ease. A delayed payment finally clears. A conversation opens a door. A bill gets paid without panic. Subtle but steady. So if your plant is still just standing there, maybe it's time to give it something to stand for. One stone, one gesture. A quiet turning point buried just below the surface. Section 1. Jade plant, a symbol of wealth or a forgotten object. You probably didn't choose your jade plant randomly. Maybe a friend gave it to you with a quiet wish for prosperity. Maybe you saw it on a list of lucky plants and thought, it couldn't hurt. Maybe it simply looked beautiful, sturdy, vibrant, alive. The kind of thing you wanted more of in your space. And so you placed it by the window near the entryway or in that southeast corner everyone talks about. You water it now and then. You notice how its thick leaves catch the morning light. You feel good about it, like it means something. But deep down, do you ever wonder if it's doing anything at all? Because here's the truth most people don't say. A jade plant, no matter how beautiful, can become just another object. Another thing sitting in your home, silently collecting dust. And when it does, it stops channeling energy and starts blocking it. That might sound dramatic, but let's pause. How many things in your home were once chosen with hope, but now sit untouched? A candle you meant to light, a book you meant to finish, a corner you meant to refresh. Over time, intention fades, objects lose their role. And when it comes to energy, especially financial energy, that's not a small thing. It's everything. The jade plant is known as a symbol of prosperity, yes, but symbols are only powerful when they're activated. Just like a light switch only works when connected to power, a plant only flows energy when it's part of something alive, a relationship, a rhythm, a presence. Without that, it becomes static, decorative, and in some cases, energetically stagnant. But let's bring this closer. Think about your own jade plant. Is it vibrant, or is it quietly dulling? Are the leaves full and upright, or soft and curling? Does the soil feel fresh and aerated, or hard and dry? These aren't just gardening questions. They're mirrors. Because plants, especially the ones we choose with intention, often reflect something deeper. Not in a magical way, but in a quietly literal one. A plant that thrives in your space often points to clarity, flow, nourishment. A plant that struggles may be echoing something unspoken. This doesn't mean you've failed. It means your space is speaking and asking you to notice. The jade plant in particular has a unique energy signature. Its rounded leaves resemble coins. Its slow, steady growth mirrors lasting wealth, the kind that builds quietly, not explosively. It doesn't need much attention, but it does need presence. A moment of connection, a breath of awareness. That's the line most people miss. They buy the plant for what it represents, but they forget to keep showing up for the relationship. And like any relationship, neglect, even silent, unintentional neglect, changes everything. In Feng Shui-inspired design, the jade plant is often placed in the wealth corner. That's not superstition, it's spatial psychology. That corner, typically the southeast area of your home, is associated with wood energy, which thrives on consistency, calm, and growth. A healthy jade plant there can support that energy, but an ignored jade plant in the same spot, it can do the opposite. It can hold the visual illusion of abundance while quietly signaling that nothing is truly moving. And movement is everything. Money doesn't stay where energy is blocked. Abundance doesn't root in stillness. It needs flow, it needs freshness. And yes, it needs acknowledgement, so let's get practical. If you want your jade plant to actually work as a partner in your financial life, not just as a decoration, it needs 3 things. First, clean leaves. Dust is not just aesthetic. In energetic terms, dust is delay. It signals that what should be moving is settling instead. Wipe the leaves once a week with a soft, slightly damp cloth. Not because anyone will see, but because you'll feel the shift. Second, clear soil. Press gently on the top layer. If it feels crusted or dry, loosen it. Let the roots breathe. That act alone tells your home something here is being refreshed. And third, connection. Take 30 seconds once a week. Stand near the plant, place a hand on the pot, say nothing or say something simple. Thank you. Stay strong. Let energy rise. These aren't spells, they're signals. They shift your awareness. They invite presence. And that's the spark that makes any space come alive again. Because in the end, a jade plant is never just a plant. It's a reflection. It shows you how you're relating to the idea of growth, not fast, flashy growth, but the kind that holds, builds, stays. And when you treat it as more than decor, when you begin to show up for it the way you want wealth to show up for you, something shifts. The room feels different. The corner breathes again. And most importantly, you remember something that gets lost in the noise of goals and budgets and waiting. Prosperity begins in presence. If your jade plant has been standing there quietly, patiently, this might be the moment it's been waiting for. Not to be saved, but to be seen. Not as a symbol of what you wish you had, but as a partner in what you're now ready to receive. And that begins not with effort, but with one simple act: noticing. Section 2. Citrine, the sun buried in soil. Why this crystal matters. You've probably heard of citrine. Maybe you've even bought one, kept it in a drawer on a shelf or beside a candle, hoping it might bring good energy. Maybe someone told you it was the stone of abundance, and they were right. But here's the question no one ever really answers. How does a stone bring abundance if it's never given a role to play? Most people keep crystals the way they keep old affirmations, visible, hopeful, untouched. But citrine isn't meant to be admired. It's meant to be activated. And the most powerful way to do that has nothing to do with display. It begins when you bury it. Let's pause right here. This might sound odd, bury a stone under a plant, but think about what citrine is: its warmth, its clarity, it's the energy of the sun captured in mineral form. Unlike many other crystals that need cleansing or shielding, citrine holds its vibration steadily. It doesn't absorb negativity, it transforms it. That's why it's often called the merchant's stone, not because it guarantees riches, but because it aligns with confidence, decision-making, and trust in forward movement. And when you place something like that under the roots of a living plant, something already grounded, growing, reaching, you create a kind of conversation between earth and intention. Not loud, not immediate, but real. Now imagine that crystal buried just beneath your jade plant, out of sight, no spotlight, just resting in the dark like a seed. And every time you water the plant, the soil shifts slightly. Every time light hits the leaves, the energy stirs. Slowly, gently, the qualities of the stone, clarity, warmth, flow, begin to infuse the space. You don't need to believe in magic to feel it. You just need to believe in rhythm. Here's the deeper truth. Energy responds to structure. It needs a pathway, a vessel, a container. When you tuck citrine beneath your plant, you're not performing a ritual. You're giving your desire for financial clarity a home. You're saying this matters enough to be rooted. That act alone can shift how you relate to your space and to your goals. It's not about wishing, it's about grounding. So why citrine and why under the plant? Why not on your desk, your nightstand, or in your pocket? Because buried energy behaves differently. It anchors, it settles. It becomes part of the environment, not just a surface item. And under a jade plant, a symbol of slow, stable wealth, it magnifies what's already present. The plant draws in light and water. The stone holds intention. Together, they create what so many people crave but rarely achieve. Steady, living abundance, still skeptical, good. That means you're paying attention. This isn't about blind belief. It's about connection. Think of it like this. If you were trying to change your diet, you wouldn't just buy vegetables. You'd prepare them, eat them, make them part of your rhythm. Crystals are the same. Their power isn't in the purchase. It's in the placement. And nothing says, "I'm ready to receive," more clearly than placing a stone of wealth where roots already live. But here's the mistake many make, and it's important. They buy citrine that's too polished, too big, too theatrical. What works best is simple. A raw or lightly tumbled piece, no larger than your thumb, ideally with a warm, honey-like glow. Something that feels quiet, not flashy. Because wealth, when it lasts, doesn't scream, it settles, it stays. When you're ready, take the stone in your hand, feel its temperature. Let your breath slow, don't overthink it. You're not casting a spell, you're aligning your environment with your intentions. Hold it near the base of the plant. Dig a shallow spot in the soil, just deep enough to cover it completely. Don't drop it in carelessly. Place it. Let your fingertips press the soil back down with quiet firmness. And then don't touch it again. That last part is vital. Once it's in the earth, leave it. Don't check on it. Don't dig it up to see if anything's working. The moment you bury it, it stops being an object and becomes a message. Checking on it breaks the message. Just like you wouldn't keep pulling up a seed to see if it's sprouting, you trust the soil. Trust this too. You may notice nothing at first. That's okay. This is slow energy. But over days, then weeks, a shift begins. Your mind around money softens. Decisions feel less pressured. Conversations open. Something once stuck, whether it's a payment, an opportunity, or simply your confidence, begins to loosen. Not because the stone caused it, but because you gave the energy somewhere clear to land. And that's really the secret. Abundance arrives when you make space for it. Not in your schedule, in your energy, not through control, through quiet invitation. Citrine knows how to hold that space. Your jade plant knows how to nurture it. All that's left is you. So if there's a part of your financial life that's been stalling, if something keeps almost working but not quite, maybe it's not a lack of effort. Maybe it's a lack of anchoring. Maybe the missing step isn't more hustle, but one hidden crystal placed gently beneath the roots. Section 3. Wealth corner placement. Is southeast truly the key? You may have heard it 100 times. Put your jade plant in the southeast corner, that's where wealth lives. It's become one of those common Feng Shui phrases that people follow without thinking twice. And sure, there's tradition behind it. The southeast area in Feng Shui is associated with financial energy, wood element, and long-term growth. But here's a truth few people admit. You can place the right plant in the right corner and still feel like nothing's happening. Why? Because energy doesn't move by location alone. It moves by presence. The southeast corner of your home might align with money on a blueprint, but if it's cluttered, dim, or emotionally heavy, it won't matter what you place there. Energy doesn't flow through theory, it flows through space. And that's where most homes quietly fall short. Take a moment. Think about the southeast part of your home. Is it open, light, inviting? Or is it filled with storage boxes, paperwork, an unused chair, a pile of someday tasks? That's not a judgment, it's a clue. Because the southeast corner isn't magic, it's a container. And whatever energy you fill it with is what it reflects back. Clarity invites clarity. Confusion multiplies itself. Stuckness lingers like dust. And here's something most people overlook. The plant isn't what attracts money. The conditions around it do. A jade plant sitting in stale air, next to a pile of unopened mail, in a corner you rarely look at, isn't going to amplify wealth. It's going to absorb delay. Because even the most symbolically charged object can't override the energetic tone of its environment. It's like putting a fresh flower in murky water. It looks hopeful, but it fades quickly. So let's go deeper. What makes a southeast corner work? It's not just direction, it's feeling. It should feel light, grounded, awake. You should want to walk toward it. Your body should feel calm in that space. If it doesn't, that's your first fix. Before you place your plant, clear the corner. Don't decorate, don't style. Just remove what doesn't belong, be honest. If something there feels old, stagnant, or guilt-inducing, let it go. Wealth doesn't land in places that whisper shame or delay. Next, bring in light, not artificial, natural. If there's a window, open it. If there isn't, use mirrors to reflect brightness from other parts of the room. Why? Because light is energy's favorite invitation. In Feng Shui, the southeast is governed by the wood element, and wood thrives on light. A plant in the dark becomes decoration. A plant in light becomes growth. That's the difference. Now let's talk timing. People often rush to place a jade plant in the southeast corner and expect results. But the southeast is slow energy. It's not about quick wins. It's about cumulative flow, subtle shifts that build over time. That means your actions matter less than your consistency. Don't move the plant around. Don't try it out in different places every week. Commit. Let roots form physically and energetically. Because financial energy, just like plants, doesn't respond to frantic movement. It responds to steadiness. And here's the part no one talks about. Sometimes the wealth corner isn't your southeast at all, it's the place you actually show up. What does that mean? It means energy responds to attention. If you never walk past your southeast corner, if you avoid it, if it's behind a closed door, the plant you place there won't do much. But if there's a space in your home where you sit every morning, where your thoughts settle, where you plan your next steps, that's an energy magnet. And placing your jade plant there, even if it's not correct on a map, can shift far more than blindly following a layout. This is where Feng Shui becomes personal. It's not about obeying rules, it's about understanding rhythm. Yes, the southeast is traditionally tied to wealth, but what you bring to that space is what activates it. That means your breath, your awareness, your choice to clear it, to honor it, to show up with care, those are the real rituals. And once that foundation is set, that's when adding the jade plant or the buried citrine becomes meaningful. Not before, so if you've already placed your plant and feel disappointed, don't blame the object. Check the space. Was it really prepared? Was it really open? Was there light, air, movement? Were you clear in your intent? Or were you just hoping to fix something fast? There's no shame in that. We all want quick answers. But prosperity doesn't respond to panic. It responds to permission. Give your home permission to hold abundance. Start with air, with clarity, with softness. Then choose the plant. Then choose the stone. Then choose the placement. And once it's there, don't hover. Let it work. Let it root. Let it settle into the rhythm you've created. Because when the conditions are right, even the smallest act becomes powerful. And when they're wrong, even the most perfect object remains silent. So yes, the southeast can be a key, but it only unlocks what you're ready to hold. And sometimes, the most powerful wealth corner isn't where the compass points. It's where your attention lands, again and again, like water, like light, like breath. Section 4. How to invite the crystal, not just bury it. Most people bury the crystal too fast. They hear about citrine, they get excited, they grab a stone, dig a hole, and cover it up, hoping it will do the work. But energy doesn't respond to speed. It responds to presence. And in this ritual, how you begin matters more than how you finish. This isn't about planting an object. It's about inviting a shift. That shift starts the moment you choose to slow down. If you treat the crystal like a tool, it will stay silent. If you treat it like a partner, it will respond. Let's begin with a question. What does this stone mean to you? Not what others say about it, not what the books or websites claim, but you. What would it feel like to hold a symbol of wealth, not as something to chase, but something to trust? That question, that pause, is the first invitation. So before you bury anything, you must meet the stone, not as an object, but as a vessel. Hold the citrine in your hand. Don't inspect it. Don't analyze its color or shape. Just feel its weight, its temperature. Let your fingers rest around it like you're holding a breath. This is the moment the shift begins. Not in the soil. In you, you don't need to speak aloud, but if words come, let them be simple. I'm ready. Let this energy grow. Welcome. These are not commands, they are offerings. They're not meant to control what happens next. They are the doorway through which something begins to move. And now, the soil. Make sure your jade plant is ready. The leaves should be clean. The space should be calm. This is not a chore, it's a gesture of care, of readiness. Dig a small hollow near the base of the plant, not deep, just enough for the stone to rest near the roots, not beneath them, not pressed down. Just beside them, like a message being handed gently, not shoved. Here, where many people go wrong, they bury the stone with expectation instead of clarity. They ask for things they don't believe they can receive. They bury hope with fear still clinging to it, and energy feels that. Energy doesn't move just because you want something. It moves when you align with it, when your actions and your emotions are speaking the same language. So before you lower the stone into the soil, take one last breath. Ask yourself, am I asking from pressure or presence? Am I rushing a result or planting a rhythm? If you feel tense, pause, wait. There is no power in forced timing. Citrine responds best to steady hands, not shaking ones. If needed, leave the crystal on your nightstand for a day or two. Let your energy settle, then return. And when you place it into the soil, place it. Don't toss, don't drop. The physical act of lowering it in gently is itself an activation. Press the soil down over it softly, not tightly, just enough to feel like a quiet ceiling, like a letter being sent not to a person but to the energy of the space itself. From that moment on, resist the urge to unearth it. Don't check on it. Make sure it's working. That's control, not trust, and trust is the whole point. Let it live underground, out of sight. Let it do what crystals do best, radiate without demanding attention. And here's the beauty of this. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to believe fully. You just need to be sincere. A small act done with real presence is far more powerful than a perfect ritual done out of pressure. Even a whisper, if honest, moves more than a shout fueled by doubt. Now, what happens next? Nothing you can see right away. That's the nature of real change. It begins below the surface. A tiny opening in your thinking, a softened fear, a shift in how you feel when you look at your space. You might find yourself making clearer financial decisions. saying yes with more ease, saying no without guilt. You might notice synchronicities, a refund you forgot about, a conversation that turns into an opportunity, a delayed decision that now feels just right. Are these coincidences? Maybe. Or maybe they're the natural response of energy that's finally been given structure. You planted a symbol, you honored it, and now the space around you is responding. And what if nothing happens? What if a week goes by and everything feels the same? That's okay too. This isn't a transaction, it's a tuning. Sometimes the effect is immediate, sometimes it's gradual. But the deeper truth is this. By planting the crystal with care, you've already shifted. Not just your space, your relationship to your space. And that's where real abundance starts, not in outer gain, but in inner alignment. This is why we don't just bury a crystal. We invite it. Because when you treat even the smallest object with presence, you invite presence back into your life. And when you plant it not out of panic, but out of quiet clarity, you begin to align with the kind of wealth that stays, not because you chase it, but because you've made a place for it to belong. Section 5. When the plant begins to respond, how to read the energy shift. You might not see it right away. The plant won't suddenly glow. The stone won't hum, and yet something changes, quietly, softly, almost too subtly to name. But it begins. Maybe the light near the jade plant starts to feel brighter, though the weather hasn't changed. Maybe you find yourself pausing longer in that corner, breathing easier. Maybe you make a financial decision, one you've put off for weeks, and it feels uncomplicated. Clear. What's happening isn't magic, it's movement. And your jade plant, the one that once stood like any other object, is now beginning to respond. This is what most people miss. They expect fireworks, wind chimes, signs, but energy rarely announces itself. It whispers, it nudges. And if you don't know how to listen, you'll miss the shift that's already underway. So how do you know when the plant is responding? You don't look for proof. You feel for change. Start here, the leaves. Are they brighter, firmer, more upright? Even subtle changes in posture reflect a response. A plant doesn't bloom overnight, but it does react to care, to presence. And when you place intention at its roots, its structure will slowly mirror that energy. Next, notice your own behavior. Are you walking past the plant differently? Slower. With a sense of recognition instead of rush. That shift matters. Your awareness is part of the activation. The moment you begin to relate to the jade plant as a participant, not a passive object, its energy field expands. This isn't metaphor, it's rhythm. Presence creates resonance. And it's not just about the plant, it's about how you feel in the space where the plant lives. Has that corner begun to feel like a place of calm, of clarity? Do you notice yourself lingering, even if just for a moment? These are signs that the energy is no longer stuck, that it's starting to circulate gently but consistently. Another sign is subtle alignment. A refund you forgot about finally clears. A call you've been waiting for comes through. A financial conversation you were avoiding suddenly feels easier to begin. These moments may seem small, but they are the outer echoes of an inner shift. This is how energy works when it's aligned, not with force but with flow. It doesn't push its way into your life. It waits for space, for invitation, for grounding. And that's exactly what you've created. Still, the mind wants proof. That's natural. So here's a practice to help you notice the changes. Once a week, take a small notebook and write down 3 things. Nothing big, just 3 movements that feel connected to ease, flow, or clarity. Maybe you made a confident decision. Maybe you felt at peace in a place that used to feel tense. Maybe you received something unexpected, a compliment, a discount, a moment of rest. These are data points, not to convince you, but to remind you something is unfolding. And what if you see nothing? What if the plant looks the same, the room feels the same, and your life still feels stuck? Pause. Ask gently, have I been present? Have I allowed time? Remember, this isn't fast energy. Citrine and Jade work like roots. They anchor first, then grow. If the energy feels still, it may not be blocked. It may just be integrating. Also, check the conditions. Is the plant getting enough light? Has the soil stayed too dry or too soggy? Are you overwatering out of anxiety or forgetting to water at all? These aren't just care questions. They're energetic feedback. A jade plant that begins to curl or yellow isn't punishing you. It's pointing to imbalance, often in rhythm, not in tension. And rhythm is the secret. Abundance, like a plant, responds to cycles, not constant action, cycles. Times of growth, times of rest. Times to water, times to wait. If you can stay in rhythm even when results feel invisible, you'll find that energy begins to hold, to gather, to stay. That's the real work. Not chasing what you want, but holding space for it to arrive. Not forcing flow, but becoming the kind of person who welcomes it when it comes. The plant reflects that. The soil holds that. The crystal supports that. And all of them together, plant, soil, stone, space, create a conversation. Not in words, but in frequency, in tone, in quiet, gentle resonance. That's how the shift speaks. So the next time you pass your jade plant, don't ask what it's doing. Ask what you're feeling. Ask what's moving, however slightly. Trust the things you can't yet measure. Because when energy begins to flow, it doesn't knock, it drifts in, it glides. It waits to be noticed. And when you notice it, even silently, you complete the loop. You begin to live not in hope, but in quiet proof. Section 6. What not to do with citrine and your jade plant. It's easy to get excited. You find a jade plant, you pick a citrine crystal, you read about the energy of prosperity, and suddenly you want everything to shift fast. But in that momentum, people often make simple, well-intentioned mistakes. And instead of supporting flow, those mistakes quietly interrupt it. Not in dramatic ways, but in subtle, invisible ways that leave you wondering why nothing's happening. So let's clear the noise, because what you don't do is just as important as what you do. First, don't bury the crystal too deep. This is the most common misstep. People think deeper means more powerful, as if they're planting something that needs protection. But this isn't about hiding, it's about placing. A crystal buried too deep becomes disconnected from the root system. And in Feng Shui, roots are symbolic bridges. They carry the energy of the earth to the surface and vice versa. When the stone is too far down, it's like whispering a message into a wall. The energy doesn't receive it. Aim for just beneath the surface, no deeper than 2 finger joints below the soil. Enough to be covered, close enough to stay connected. Second, don't press the crystal down. Let that be clear. Don't jam it in. Don't force it into a spot. The act of placement is part of the invitation. If your energy is hurried or tense, the stone receives that message, and the plant does too. The soil isn't a container. It's a living interface. You're not burying. You're offering. Third, don't bury more than 1 crystal just to be safe. It's tempting. If 1 citrine is good, 3 must be better, right? But energy doesn't multiply through volume. It multiplies through clarity. More objects can actually confuse the intention. Think of a letter sent with 5 different messages inside. The receiver won't know which one to open. A single crystal, chosen with care, placed with presence, carries more potency than a bowl of mixed stones dropped into dirt. Next, avoid clutter around the plant. This seems obvious, but it's often overlooked. That beautiful jade plant, now carrying your quiet intention, should not be surrounded by chaos. No mail stacked next to it. No broken items hiding behind it. No pile of coins or dusty trinkets on the shelf above. The plant is your anchor. The stone is your seed. If the energy around it is messy, confused, or ignored, it dampens the vibration. Think of the plant as a channel. Clear channels amplify, blocked ones distort. Also, don't move the plant repeatedly. Once you've placed the citrine, once the energy begins to settle, your job is to support stillness. Not rigidity, but rhythm. If you keep shifting the plant around the house to see where it works best, you're not grounding the energy, you're scattering it. Plants, like intentions, root best when they're trusted to stay. Choose your spot with care, then commit. And this one matters more than it seems. Don't tell everyone. It's tempting. You want to share the ritual. You want to show people the crystal. You want to explain why this little act means something big. But some gestures lose power when exposed to too much outside energy. When you talk about it too soon, you invite others, opinions, doubts, distractions, even their hopes, and that disperses the signal. It doesn't mean your practice is secret. It means it's sacred. Let it live quietly. Let it settle fully into the space. Let it root. Now let's talk about emotional energy, the most invisible but powerful mistake of all. Don't bury fear. If you're placing the crystal while holding anxiety, scarcity, or desperation, pause. Wait, this isn't about perfection, it's about resonance. Energy doesn't require total confidence, but it does ask for calm alignment. If your hands are shaky, if your thoughts are racing, if you're asking the stone to fix everything, stop. Breathe. Try again when you feel grounded. Even a little bit. Even just enough to whisper, "I'm ready." Because the soil doesn't lie. The plant doesn't lie. And the crystal can't carry what your spirit hasn't offered sincerely. And lastly, don't forget the plant. This is the most common and heartbreaking mistake. People focus so much on the crystal, on the ritual, the placement, the hope, that they forget the living partner in this process. The jade plant is not just a symbol. It's a being, a channel. A soft, sturdy witness to the message you've planted. And it needs care, not constant attention, just consistency. Wipe the leaves, check the soil, water when dry, speak gently near it. Let your eyes meet it like you would meet an old friend. This simple, mindful tending is not about chores, it's about trust. Because what you're creating isn't just good Feng Shui. It's a relationship between you and your home, between thought and energy, between presence and prosperity. So what not to do? Don't rush, don't pile on, don't overthink, don't forget. Do one thing, one crystal, one plant, one gesture with deep attention, and let that be enough. Because sometimes the most powerful activations don't happen from doing more. They happen the moment you do less, but with absolute clarity. Final. So now there's a crystal resting beneath your jade plant. The soil has been touched with care. The space around it has been cleared, maybe even brightened. And yet, if someone walked into your home, they might not notice anything different. They might see a green plant in a quiet corner, nothing more. But you know what's been placed beneath, what's been invited, what's been whispered, and that's the whole point. Because the work you've done here isn't about decoration. It isn't about superstition. It isn't even about money in the way most people talk about it. It's about presence. It's about anchoring clarity inside your home and inside yourself. We live in a world that rewards constant motion. Hustle, urgency, loud intentions, and fast outcomes. But true prosperity, the kind that doesn't leave you exhausted or unfulfilled, begins in quiet spaces. It begins in how you care for your surroundings, in how you relate to the objects in your home, in whether your actions are aligned with what you actually want to feel. And this practice, placing citrine beneath your jade plant, may seem small, simple, but its power lies in the layers it touches, the physical, the energetic, and the emotional. Physically, you created a shift in your space. You cleared a corner. You tended to a living plant. You chose an object with intention. That alone matters. It tells your brain, I'm changing something. I'm preparing. I'm ready. Energetically, you've opened a pathway. Crystals, like plants, interact with the frequency of their environment, not in magic, but in resonance. They don't change your life, they change how energy moves. And when energy moves differently, life responds. Emotionally, you've softened the space around wealth. You've stepped out of fear and into relationship. And that's everything. Because money, like energy, resists pressure. But it flows towards safety, clarity, and alignment. When you stop asking, what else should I do? And begin asking, what space am I creating for it to arrive? That's when the shift begins. You may not feel it tomorrow or even next week. That's okay. This isn't fast work, it's deep work. The kind that holds steady beneath the surface, like roots, like breath, like trust. And when something does shift, when a bill is paid without tension, when a decision feels clean, when an opportunity lands quietly in your lap, it won't feel like a miracle. It'll feel like something long overdue. Something you were always meant to receive once you created space for it to arrive and stay. So let the crystal stay hidden. Let the plant keep growing. Let the corner breathe. There's nothing else to do. You've already begun. And perhaps the next time you walk past that quiet plant, something in you will pause not to ask, is it working? But to simply feel, this space holds me differently now. And maybe that's what real wealth feels like.